Thank you, Anna, for being here. An honor, and you can take it away.
Thank you, Mariela. And I would like to just start by just saying how I've been sitting here through the last hour and a half, and my heart is completely open. We have managed to co-create really a sacred space here, and I want to thank you, Mariela, for taking this initiative. It's really fascinating to see how you I'm seeing in the different facilitators an aspect of you, of your spirituality, and see how much we have in common. So thank you very much to all of you who are here. And I'm just really moved to just start by, before I start on saying anything, just hold a moment of silence in which we can just feel and experience the grace of this space today. And I just want to say that we join with so many people right now in the planet who are really committed to their spiritual growth. And how we, this morning, we have been maybe called experts, but we are all experts. We are all walkers of the same path. And we're here to give and to receive. And even if you stay quiet through our presentation, your energy is palpable. So thank you so much. Amen. So I did prepare some sort of like, I'm a really graphic person, so I might have, plan on showing you a PowerPoint at some point, but I would like to just speak from my heart and just say why I'm moved to say and share what I'm going to be sharing today with all of you. Mm-hmm. And it's essentially something that has come really noticeable in my own spiritual journey over the last, I would say, 10 years, is the fact that everything in life is consciousness. And how the source of our well-being in every aspect of our lives really has to do with the level of our consciousness. And the biggest lesson that I have probably gained over these years is that this sense of well-being and abundance has nothing really to do with what is going outside in the world. It's really in how I'm managing my mind, what are the beliefs and thoughts that I normally tend to carry in me that will ultimately impact my experience, my finances, my relationships, and all of that. And probably 10 years ago, as I was still living in the island and I went through a serious health condition and I moved to Raleigh, that lesson became really firsthand in me, in my experience, as to see that at some point in my life, I lost my health, I lost my support system, I lost my source of income. I even lost my physical appearance. But internally, I was gaining so much more to actually see that I was being provided for even in the midst of what the world might have seen like the worst period of my life. Mm-hmm. So today I would like to just share with you, especially during these times in which we are being shaken to see life differently, to see ourselves differently, to connect differently with, like Tammy was saying, how our relationships are being called to be different. And what I would love to share today is our relationship with money, mm-hmm. and the aspect of abundance that has to do with our financial stability. I guess that many of us on the spiritual path, we avoid the subject of money, and we see it maybe like separate from our own spirituality, but it's all one thing. So this is where I'm gonna just break into my PowerPoint and just, and Mariela, you're welcome to jump in and you know, ask whatever you feel like asking. But anyways, as I was saying, these are times of advanced growing, and we are forced to evaluate our perspective, habits, and then we're promised, and this is how I see it, that right now it's an opportunity. If we are alive in the planet, and we're facing the challenges that we're facing as a humanity, it means that we're fully capable of facing what it is and thriving through it all. So it's really possible.
Mhm.
And I believe that we are being called to a new level of abundance. I believe that abundance is really our divine birthright. And I have a quote here from Patricia Cota Robles. She says that poverty, it's in absolute opposition to the divine plan for the new earth and for all of humanity. And poverty cannot exist in the presence of light. And this new earth, this new chapter of the human history, is destined to be a planet of light. We are not going to deny that big economic changes are taking place right now. And if each time we find safety in other conditions, these times can be really frightening. We're not going to deny that. But again, today I'm going to bring some light to the financial aspect of abundance, and to know that it is this information. I'm sure that many of you have already on the spiritual path, and many of these concepts are not going to be like new to you, but I really feel that it's a time in which we can review it and get back to spiritual truth and basics that can really help us navigate these times more successfully. So during these vital times, it is really vital to have a healthy relationship with money so that it can support our overall experience of abundance. We deal with money every day, and in many ways, setting things right with money is really setting things right with ourselves, or vice versa. And we will not deny that a lot of our attitudes regarding money is really what we grew up with, or what the collective consciousness believes the source of money or economic stability comes from. What is money? Well, we know it's a medium of exchange that is used for the payment of goods and services and all types of obligations, but it's really energy. And it responds to our energy. It's really an extension of ourselves. And I would like to pose this question for you today. Is money really a symbol of limitation to you? Like that feeling of it's hard to get? I'm always like having a love-hate relationship with money? Or is it really a source of unlimitedness, of like enough, of a lot, of abundance? And contrary to what many of us might tend to think, how abundant we are financially really does not depend exclusively on how hard we work, or how well educated we are, on what economic conditions are happening out there, on how much money we have accumulated. This is all really, like, I must say that a lot of my belief system prior to this breakthrough experience that I had coming over and changing my career and my lifestyle and all of that. But it's really, what I'm sharing with you today, it's really core in my consciousness. I know hard work this is all like education help, hard work helps. Being smart with how you save and invest money helps. But there's an underlying reality that is not physical, like anything in life, that it's almost like the foundation of everything else that you do outside. I have a quote here from our co-founder of Unity. that really emphasizes on this idea of understanding that abundance, the source of abundance, is really an invisible, spiritual, and unlimited realm. Yes. Observe the thoughts that are held in mind when you're handling, for instance, money, because money is completely connected through your mind to the source of all substance. When you think of money, something visible that is united directly to an invisible source that gives or takes away according to one thought, you have the key to all wealth. And I'm just going to stop here for 10 seconds and allow you to read that on your own. I'd like you to concentrate on that idea of seeing money directly united to an invisible source that will give or take away according to your thought. And this is the essence of my presentation today. Understanding the basic law of prosperity as always operating should be or is the platform on which you're going to build your success or your abundance or your stability. So we see here this diagram that says beliefs lead to actions. And according to how those beliefs and those actions are, one way will lead to abundance and other way will lead to scarcity. As you know, every single thing in the universe is connected to an electronic light substance. And this law talks about two activities. One is radiation, which means projecting force or sending something out. And the other is magnetization, which means pulling back and drawing in. Examples could be giving, receiving, cause, effect, action, reaction, sowing, reaping, supply, demand, in-breath, out-breath. It's really the law of attraction that we are so familiar with. So this law really says it's the basic law of prosperity. It's really the same law. If we are radiating whatever we are radiating through our thoughts and feelings and mental pictures, words, actions, we're going to magnetize. If we're sending out thoughts and feelings of lack and limitation, because we feel that now that, you know, I'm a certain age, or I didn't finish my degree, or with the pandemic, the economy is at its worst, all of that, if we are resonating with that constantly, and that's what we're radiating, and then we're maybe bogged down with memories of unpleasant failure experiences, or worry about how I'm going to meet that next bill, we are really like, that becomes like our prayer, like our constant. And of course, we're going to attract accordingly, right? And we might blame something outside there, but we really, it's our own creation. So let's take that for instance. The beliefs, the main belief that there's not enough, that money is hard to get, that it's the basis of our struggle, that it runs out quickly, that in order for me to have more, others have to have less. And I remember my business years in which that's your greatest fear in competition, that the competition is going after your market share, right? That if they do that, then you're gonna be left out with less. That a lot of what happens to you has to do with luck, or that my progress depends on external factors. If this is essentially your belief system, grounded on the main idea that there's not enough, then this is going to lead to a certain way, to certain actions, like you're not going to give as much or give little because of course I'm going to run out, right? and then I must overwork just to make it, and then you start losing balance. You become like maybe opportunistic and maybe not as fair in the relationship you have regarding money, feeling that you have to win all the time. Of course, like I said, I don't give for there's not enough, and thinking that whatever I'm doing has nothing to do with how money is going to show up in my life or my economic stability. And then we tend to manipulate and hoard or accumulate. But it's really all these actions arise from that belief of not enough, the universe being scarce. And
Yeah.
then, of course, this leads to scarcity, living in fear and anxiety, worrying a lot, and thinking about limited possibilities, and there's no flow. So today, I'm inviting you to shift. And I don't know what the current situation is, and this might be something that you already know, but I'm just reviewing. I realize that the emphasis in many of us is that I must do in order to have. And the being part is not really my priority. And I really believe that during this coronavirus times, we are forced to have more time and space in the beingness, right?
Yes.
So when we put the beingness first, doing second, having is third, it's almost like what Jesus used to say, seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and everything will be added on to you, right? When you're in the space of beingness and you're giving yourself time to rest, self-care, for fun, the sharing part, the breathing part, spiritual practice, you're going to notice that it's like things are flowing through you and you don't have to work as much. It's just, it's like a natural order in which you are more connected to yourself, divine ideas flow better. And what could have been so much more effort-based becomes like effortless. So I really feel that this is the time which we are like forced to the beingness.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and this is almost like the highlight of my time today, when our beliefs are in alignment with what is truthful, we are then, we act in the best way and we attract greater abundance. So for instance, if we start off from the belief that there's plenty, that money and opportunities flow like water, that my source is unlimited, that it comes in and out, even if might not be manifesting it now, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that forever. If you believe that there's enough for all, that the universe is on my side, and that I really, by managing my mind and my consciousness, have the most powerful weapon to navigate whatever change I'm going through. If we are anchoring that belief system, then our actions will be about giving and serving and blessing. And we are affirming abundance. We bless our money. We give our talent. When we give joyously, because we know that it's going to be multiplied in a way that we're going to receive more, so we can give more, so we can just continue to be in that beautiful flow. We forgive, which is really key in manifesting abundance. And if we're holding resentment, we're cutting the flow. We are in gratefulness. And when we know that having is not our primary thing, we know that we don't need to have in order to be happy. Having, it's the byproduct of our beingness. Then we start manifesting abundance.
Yeah. I find, Anna, find that especially this year, this is something that we have to constantly practice it, because we hear from the world that, people are losing their jobs, they're losing their houses, they're losing their businesses. So it's repetitive.
Yeah.
And it's true that is happening in the world, but that may not necessarily be true for us, for our journey. So we have to constantly remind ourselves of this practice of abundance so that we remain in that energy and not be swayed away by the, the journey of other people. That may be their journey, but that does not have to be our journey. So we, in 2020, that has been like a main practice for me, to be reminded that my path has abundance in it. And I am saying yes to that path, to that abundance, having that abundance, then you can help others as well. So it's not something it's just for you. It's for you, for your loved ones, and for your community. You can give as much as you want. But if that's your path to have that abundance, don't push it away just because other people in the world are going to the hardship.
Right. And I love that, the fact that you're saying that when we're experiencing that abundance, because we are anchoring our belief systems on our consciousness and what is true and acting from there, we are showing others what's really possible, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
modeling by just being what we want to see in the world. So it definitely takes, and to me, Mariela and everybody, it's really like a way of of when you're able to serve others by your own transformation, you're being in abundance, because what else could be more worthy and of value than to serve
Yeah.
the way you live?
To be able to serve. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anna. I hate to stop this. I think we, if we will have more time, we'll stay
Yeah,
here
no,
for
I get it. I
longer.
get
Yeah. But tell us, how can we find you? How can we find Anna in your great advice? Because I know you're everywhere. We can find you in different places.
Well, you know that, so like you said at the beginning, I'm the associate minister at Unity of the Triangle. And of course, we have a really thriving community, and you can look for us online, Unity Triangle. If you go to my website, RevAna Quintana, you'll have some English, but right now my current focus is really in the Spanish speaking, but I do English too. But if you visit RevAna Quintana, in all my social media, Facebook, SoundCloud, I have a lot of like meditations, both English and Spanish, and that's actually what I'm giving away today. Not only I would be giving whoever wins that a customized meditation according to whatever circumstance they're going through, and it would be like with their names, and I will use all of my radio equipment to produce a high quality meditation.